Kaur is one of the first etiquette and grooming coaches in India who has combined the aspect of grooming and etiquette with compassion, empathy, and mindful living. With a tagline of Be Your Best Version Inside and Out, she aims to influence the minds of as many towards making the world more positive, polished, and compassionate. Manik is also a motivational speaker, writer, and blogger, and her work finds space in leading newspapers like Times of India. Hello, Manik. Welcome to Impact Duty. Thank you for joining me on our platform. How are you?
Hi, Manisha. Thank you so much for having me in the first place, and that too from all the way from Zurich. So means a lot to me. Thank you for reaching out. And I think I really can't thank Instagram enough for bringing such beautiful people closer to me like this, especially when I've never known them all my life. And, we both are talking so comfortably right now. I think it's a great feeling. Thank you so much for having me.
I agree, Manik. I think Instagram has been a real connector. I know Instagram has also faced a lot of flack for being with negative vibes and stuff, but Instagram, for me at least, has been an absolute connector. I know you have a large amount of expertise within the area of grooming and etiquette. You're a certified etiquette coach. And I'm going to dive right in and go back to the beginning of your journey and ask you how this all began, what got you into it, and why you think this is so significant for us, not just in India, but globally. So how did your journey begin, Manik?
So Manisha, it all started way, I think it's not very, it's just 3 years, not even 3 years, I would say, 2.5 years.
Right.
So I started in August. I mean, if you ask me specifically about etiquette coaching, etiquette training, it started in around August 2018 when I took up my first assignment at Welham Girls School.
Okay.
And before that, so, it's just been that much time.
Right.
And before the pre-COVID time, I would say till 2020 March, I was only doing offline sessions, basically, where I was visiting schools and doing this training with children. And then, of course, COVID happened and everything just changed for me. And I started taking online sessions and, now I'm like connecting with everybody and anybody, anyone. And I think the reach has become phenomenal thanks to Instagram again. That's one part. But, if you ask me about my real journey, I would just say that, outside etiquette, it basically started, I think, maybe 4 years ago, 3 to 4 years ago, when I started toying with this whole idea of doing something meaningful before I leave this world. So that agenda has always been there on my mind because my kids were growing up and they were joining their respective boarding schools and colleges.
Right.
My daughter joined college, my son joined his boarding school. And that's the time when I thought that now I need to do something more constructive for myself and the society and, generally something meaningful, which is productive for me, is a good utilization of my time. So when my son was just before he joined school, I started having classes at home where I was teaching life skills to kids. That included etiquette as well.
Right.
But other things like increasing the IQ of kids, having a holistic approach towards teaching things.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where my journey actually started there. I started thinking of doing something with kids and maybe with adults as well. But at that point in time, people were not open to etiquette coaching in India.
Really?
Really, yeah, that's true. Because especially, a lot of women were very apprehensive about, I think a lot of people don't even understand the meaning of the word etiquette.
Mm-hmm.
It comes as a slightly offensive word that this person needs to know etiquette. People get offended that, hey, am I lacking in manners somewhere that I need to be coached on that?
Right.
And so that is the whole idea. I mean, very few of us actually know the difference between manners and etiquette. And now, thankfully, in the last 1 year, I see so much change, and people from across the country are, training to be an etiquette coach, and people are, actually have opened up to the idea. So that's why I started with kids, because I said, let me just start with kids, because all parents definitely want their kids to be perfect in their manners and definitely etiquette as well. So that's how it all began. And then I did a couple of schools before, like I mentioned, pre-COVID.
Right.
And then, of course, I'm taking it forward through online classes and coaching. Yes.
Excellent. And you said you've worked alongside schools like Doon School and the Welham Girls School and the Welham Boys School, among others. Why do you believe that etiquette and grooming and communication skills are essential in personal development, especially at a young age?
I think, yeah, you're actually right. There are two reasons for it. Number one reason is that whoever we are essentially is a reflection of how we are brought up. So the years we spent at school are our formative years,
Definitely.
Right? And they just make up our entire personality for our life to come. So I definitely think that is the right stage when we should start as early as possible. Even I think in a preschool as well. I mean, it can start as early as in preschool. And then, of course, also that we spend, I think children spend most of their time in schools or universities rather than be at home. Because when they come back home, they're basically spending their time in eating, sleeping, or interacting a little bit with the family. But most of the time, learning time is in school or is at school. And that's where I think all the main chunk of learning is happening. So that is why I think it's very, very important for these two reasons that we should start at that time, because we're sowing the seed and we should do it as early as possible.
Wonderful. And do you think it should be part of the school curriculum?
Most definitely.
And that's most definitely.
Yes, because I think this is what we actually need. Yes. These are life skills. Nobody is going to ask you to produce your certificates or your degrees or your diplomas or anything like that. People are just going to look at you, how you're behaving, how you're communicating, how you're coming across, and then make a judgment about you or, perceive you like that. So, and I think there is everything that we do today requires some kind of etiquette. And by etiquette, I just want everybody to know, whoever's watching, who's not very familiar with the difference between manners and etiquette, is manners is essentially the behavior, and etiquette is how to follow that behavior, the steps that we need. So etiquette is basically an instruction manual. It is just a friendly guide. It's a friendly guide to how to perform various actions so that you are productive and that action is performed in the best possible way. So if you know the right etiquette for something, you're definitely in the right place.
Definitely.
So I really think that if we are given this kind of coaching in school, at school level,
right,
nothing can be better than that.
I agree. And I think in this new world, we definitely need to relook at the kind of skills that the new generation is having, and etiquette and grooming are definitely essential skills to have. And you've conducted a host of different workshops nationwide, and like you said, online recently during the pandemic. Tell us more about them. And in your opinion, which ones have been the most successful and why?
All right. So I think it has been a fun joy ride for me, because I tried out everything, and by the grace of God, everything has been received very, very well, because it was like a welcome change. And yes, I would say initially people were very open about their kids getting to attend such courses, that, teach our child manners, teach our child the right etiquette. And this is exactly what I had on mind. I wanted the kids to get it,
Right.
go back to their parents, show them what they've learned, and get the parents interested in it as well.
Oh, really?
So
Okay.
that's one aspect of it. So I had a lot of inquiries after that. Wait, do you do the same things for adults as well? So of course that picked up after the kids did so well, and they were so proud to tell me, came back and told me, "Oh, ma'am, do you know my dad didn't know this, or my mom didn't know. No one at home knew this. You know what we knew."
Right.
So definitely it just brought that new thing out that okay, we also, and as adults, can take up these kind of courses, especially in India, because abroad,
Right.
yes, these courses are very, very popular.
Mm-hmm.
People are spending an arm and a leg to get themselves coached on etiquette. But here in India, yes, it's taken a bit of its own time for the idea to catch up. So all my courses have been doing fairly well. One course that has done exceptionally well is the personality development course with adults, because I just feel there were a lot of people who just needed a little bit of hand holding.
Right.
They had it in them. I would just say, I tell every day, every time I start my course, I say that it's nothing. I'm no fairy godmother who's going to just take the wand out and put something inside you.
Right.
I'm just going to bring something out from within you, which you already have. So I think that really worked very well with people. And that's very gratifying for me also when people come send me messages and DMs and tell me that course has been extremely, I would say, gratifying experience for me as well. So yeah, I think that's one course, personality development course, really, really hit it off well with people. Yeah.
And Manik, do we have any personality development online courses coming up soon? Any in the pipeline?
So yes, Manisha, I'm starting with the third batch now in October, mid-October, around 20th. Yeah. So because, every bit, I just take it like in batches, I try that the batch size is not very big so that I'm able to give each and every person the right attention, and it really makes a difference in people's lives. So yes, I have another batch coming up, and I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Yes, me too. And Manik, there are quite a few people within this field and area of expertise. What sets you apart from them, and how have you managed to stay relevant within the industry?
All right. So these two are big questions.
Big one.
Part one. Yeah, part one. See, there are a lot of people, like I told you, in the last 1 year, I've seen a massive increase in the number of etiquette coaches that have come up, which is really good. I'm very happy. I really don't think, it has affected anything badly, adversely, because the whole idea is to propagate the message of spreading good behavior amongst people, and have a world like that, a society like that, a groomed, well-behaved society. I'm happy about that. Having said that, what sets me apart is, I think, my approach towards it. Right. So I'm not trying to, Manisha, I'm not trying to give anybody, like in India, we say gyan. I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to do that, because that can be very frustrating, especially in today's day and age where people don't want to be told what to do. Everybody has a mind of his own. Again, that's all right. But what I feel is that I don't want to give people pointers 1 to 10, do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. I want to reason it out. So my approach is actually giving a reasoning why we do what we do, and how you don't want to do something because you feel restricted. At the same time, you want the other person to behave in a certain manner with you.
Right.
Well, because if he does the same thing as what you are doing, you might find that person impolite or rude. So, I'm trying to take this up as being mindful.
Right.
Rather than do's and don'ts. So that is why, I've named my, I would just say my page also as mindful living. Just be mindful about your behavior. So the aspect of compassion empathy, being considerate is what is the crux and not, or the foundation of what I'm teaching, and not rules and regulation. So this is the difference, I think, that I'm bringing in and I'm trying to create an awareness about. And the second question that you asked was, could you just repeat that again for me?
Yes, sure. How have you managed to stay relevant on all these social media platforms? Because you've got a fair amount of followers. So how have you managed to do that?
Thank you so much for that, Manisha. And a lot of people ask me that. So I would just say one thing, that I create content based on what I see around myself, first of all. And exactly, to stay relevant, you have to be relevant. You have to be relevant, literally relevant. Right. So when I was talking to you in the beginning about while I was thinking, what should I do now that my kids are going to go to their respective, universities and school, what am I going to engage myself with? This was my concern, that what is it that is needed around me? What is it that needs to come in? Was concern. So I used to see a lot of people, not behaving appropriately, and then expecting their kids to behave appropriately, in a certain way. That's not happening, right? That's not going to happen. And eventually, I was also seeing this world becoming very different from how it used to be, maybe 20 years ago, or when we were being raised. So I just wanted to bridge that gap, and I just so that's why I see a lot of things around me, and I make a video out of it rather than just taking something Western from there and just making a video. No, I just see what is actually needed and what are people facing on a daily basis that we can talk about, and then make it relevant and in context with the situation, everyday life. Yeah.
Fabulous, Manik. And focusing in on what you mentioned a little earlier, which is mindful living. How did this transpire? So how did you manage to progress it onto mindful living as a focus point within what you do? Yeah.
All right. So that's also, you're actually getting all the secrets out. And I'm very happy. I am more than happy to share it as well, Manisha, because I would like, can you hear the thunderstorm? It's afternoon here in India, and it's so dark and it's pouring outside. Wow. Anyway, but a very good question which you are asking me, because there's basically 2-3 things involved. One, people were not ready for straight rote learning here.
Yes.
Unlike in the West, where women are very open to etiquette coaching, and especially the creme de la creme, I would say that section of the society is because they essentially needed to navigate themselves in the high society, so to speak. But here in India, I don't think it would have gone down very well with people if I would just stand up and start talking about do this, don't do that, and this is classy, this is trashy, all of that. So I had to find a way.
Right.
I actually believed in it. Right. So basically, Manisha, what I tried was I tried to change the approach rather than giving the straightforward information. I just thought people, as in contrary to the people in the West, people did not want all of this here in India. They just want and nor did I want to give it in that fashion, because here the motive was not to navigate in the high society and to come across as classy or all of that. It's not the priority here. Here, the priority was the need to understand why we need to be behaving in a certain way. And without coming across as snobbish or cold or plastic. So that is why let me just bring it under the umbrella of mindful living, where people just realize that it's very important to be polite, because if the same behavior, it's just that learning good behavior is not just about, putting on an act. It's about making it as your lifestyle, because how we behave, what we put out there comes back to us. So
yes.
that is why. So that is what the whole idea was. Mindful
Excellent.
living.
Excellent, Manik. And I love your content on Instagram. You managed to put it in beautiful bite-sized bits that are easy to absorb. The material is really easy to absorb. You tell us how to pronounce things, and you have really cute little videos. But what have been some of your favorite videos? What are some of the ones that, oh, I love this one. So tell us some of your favorite videos, and then I'm going to ask you to share a tip or two in various areas.
All right. So if you ask me, Manisha, it's very difficult for me to tell, because what happens is what I like sometimes, my audience doesn't.
Right.
And what I just make very randomly, people love it. This has happened. But what personally I like creating, or I feel connects or strikes a chord with people, is something that they can use on everyday basis.
Right.
Like how to sit, how to stand, like when as relevant as it can get.
Right.
But personally, if you ask me, I'm a person who likes to, who really believes a lot in body language. So how you're getting, I really love that video of mine where I'm just teaching how to come out of the car in an elegant manner. I got trolled also for it. A lot of people said, I should. So there were women who were like, why should we be ladylike? We'll not be ladylike. But whatever it is. I said, all right, don't be. But, it just aesthetically, if I really, I enjoy making such videos where just by, your body movement, your gestures, your body language, your expressions, you just come across as someone like, like maybe you just get transformed from a normal person into a diva without spending a rupee on your appearance. I think those videos give me a lot of happiness. I enjoy doing them because I really believe in that concept. It's not about your clothes. It's not about the brands that you're carrying on your body. It's basically how you're moving, how you're sitting, how you're getting up, how you're treating people. Most importantly, how you're treating people, how you're making people feel around you with your presence, just by, even if you're wearing very, very simple clothes.
Wonderful. So one of my favorite videos that you have on is walking down the steps in heels, and how to, we tend to forget that. So, it's not just a fabulous video, but it's also a safety precaution because walking in heels is quite dangerous. So thank you for that video. That really helped me. And taking us into the various areas, I'm going to ask you to tell us a tip on sitting.
Sit upright.
Okay.
So I think this is one thing. Most people are sitting with a slouch, or, they just, I think the first thing that most people forget is sitting upright. That's one thing that I think, and then everything else builds on that. Mm-hmm. But if you're like this, I really can't help anybody. But if somebody's like this, then of course I can say, okay, put your legs like this, put your arms like this,
right.
Eye contact. But the first and foremost thing is just sit upright and be comfortable.
And a tip on speaking?
All right. Now, this is actually very vast, Manisha.
Oh, but okay. So
I'll just touch on two, three very important things.
Right.
Yes, mind your pitch. First of all, pitch. A lot of people are they're very shrill, because a lot of people think that they can only be heard if they're loud. Mm-hmm. So that's one thing I notice very often around myself, that people are loud only because they feel that they won't be heard if they are soft.
Right.
That's the side behind their, whole behavior is that. And in fact, for mindful living also, Manisha, I'm sharing this with you that there was a hidden purpose that I very strongly believed in. And it was about people who want to be good, who want to behave well, but are scared. If they will behave well, they'll be taken for a ride. They will be taken as, not such strong individuals, or they will be manipulated by people. So I wanted to create a community of well-behaved people, strong people, well-behaved people who can show the world that, hey, you don't have to be rude and boisterous to be taken seriously.
Good one. Yeah.
So yeah. So I think when you're speaking, you don't have to be loud. You can be, just normal and yet convey the message, even if it's a strong message. And two, and I just feel that whenever you speak, think that you're speaking to yourself.
Ooh.
That way, I think you will generally be on point, because nobody wants to be rude to themselves.
Right. Yeah. And speaking forms.
So this is the main thing, pitch and voice modulation and all. We just tell people that comes much later. But I think, most people are either very, very, very loud, or they're not mindful about what words they are using.
Right.
The same message can be conveyed with more mindful words.
Lovely. Manik, lovely. I mean, I guess that ties into the next thing that I wanted to ask you about, which is that we presume speaking is all of communication, but communication is vast. And are there any other effective tips in communication that you'd share with us, a tip or two on communicating well, that you'd like to share with us?
Okay, so since we're really short on time today and we want to get the maximum out of it, I'll just answer your question in one quote by Maya Angelou.
She's my favorites. I love Maya Angelou.
Yeah, she's my favorite as well. So she says that, people forget what you do, people forget what you said, but people never forget how you made them feel.
Oh, one of my favorite quotes, Manik. I'm so glad you shared that.
Yes, it's my favorite as well. So Manisha, it's all about communication, is all about that. Be it, any kind of written, verbal communication, written communication, online communication, offline communication, communication in any form. How you make the person feel is what it's all about. It's a game changer.
Wow.
That's it.
I think that you just summed it up beautifully in a nutshell. So thank you very, very much. And Manik, before I say goodbye to you, what's next on the cards for you? What do we expect to see in the future?
I'm so glad you asked me, Manisha, because, I started with this idea, oh Lord, it's really bad here. So I started with this idea of bringing something to, get everybody involved and believe in this idea of good behavior, because I felt that, I'd never heard of, like I always say this in all my talks and all my sessions, that I'd never heard of toxic people. I had only heard of toxic chemicals.
Right.
And I was growing up. Plastics, toxic, factory smoke is toxic, all of that. But I'd never heard of toxic people. I don't know from where this term started gaining popularity. And today, we are talking it so normally. That means there's something seriously wrong that happened in the last few years and people are becoming toxic. Or we are discussing people saying that we have toxic people around us, or of that. So then, I just feel that that's one aim, that I just want this term to go back to, ideally, go back to just chemical waste. And if we can actually have a society where we don't have toxic people, that's one thing that I'm trying, that if we can create a world like that in my very small way, very, very, I would say, teeny tiny way, if I can contribute to that. That's on card for sure. Another thing that that I realized on the way on the job is that a lot of people ask me that can people who cannot afford this kind of education. Right. So I want to make it, and especially abroad, it's very, very expensive. Abroad, it's like really for the creme de la creme. And here, I just thought that maybe I should work towards a program where it's definitely, right now I'm just charging whatever is worth my time and energy, and invested into it. I'm charging that. But there are a lot of people, Manisha, who still don't afford what I'm trying to teach. And I want to get across to as many people as possible. So now I'm just trying to find a way how I can reach out to as many people and be accessible. And the knowledge should become so pocket friendly and so easy for people to affordable and all of that. So I'm working on that now, so that the message just, goes as far as it can go. Yeah. It can really be
a beautiful mission. That's a really, really lovely purpose.
Thank you so much, Manisha. And you're a part of it. You're a part of my team already.
Oh, bless.
For inviting me on your very prestigious, show, and you are going to be taking it out on Spotify, on your podcast. You're doing a great job, Manisha. I must congratulate you.
Thank you, Manik. It's been such a pleasure speaking with you. I mean, you really shine light beautifully. And I can't wait to see where you take off and take us along with you. So here's wishing you all the very, very best. I'm going to be looking out for everything that comes out on Instagram and your online courses. And here's wishing you all the very, very best, Manik.
Thank you so much, Manisha. Lovely chatting with you. You brought the best out of me. I loved your questions and I loved the conversation we had. So see you very soon and stay in touch. Keep in touch. Yeah.
Take care, Manik.
You too, Manisha. Thank you. Bye.